And here we are, folks, second half of Artist on Art. Jennifer Kincaid, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Jennifer is you live in San Francisco.
I live in the East Bay, yeah.
East Bay. Multimedia artist and independent producer working in the crowdsource art and audience interactive participation art. All of these words we will have to go over together, Jennifer. She just did a really great project this last Friday at the Santa Cruz Museum of Art and History.
It was fantastic fun.
So
they're great people over there.
The name of it was Artful Alphabet?
Yes.
And this comes out of a project of yours.
It's actually called an Artful Alphabet of Scribble Doodles. And Scribble Doodles is a term that I've coined for squiggly open-shaped designs like this one.
Beautiful.
And they're fun to color in, so you fill them in. And this project involves coloring in designs in a coloring book that I've made. It's a series of 26 coloring books. The first one is called A is for Abstract. The whole project is called An Artful Alphabet of Scribble Doodles, and it's based on this scribble doodle design that I first learned art on. My dad used to make these designs for me.
As a child,
to save money on coloring books, actually, because I was a voracious colorer. And this is a project for all ages.
All right, Jennifer Kincaid. So what about the folks that are anti-coloring book, that you're teaching the kid how to draw inside the lines?
You know what? There were those people picketing outside the museum. I wondered what they were there for. They were saying no more color, no more color. I didn't know what they were talking about. Now I do. That must be it.
You know, we pride ourselves in being weird here in Santa Cruz.
Yeah, anti-coloring book. I don't know.
You haven't heard that one yet.
I haven't. But I'm going to use that somewhere in the future.
You want
it's provocative
to go outside. We will learn how to color inside the lines.
That's going to get somebody's attention. Are you anti-coloring book? ? Yes.
But your coloring books are very different from the usual.
They are very different.
It's abstract. Let me take a look at it real quick.
Take a look at that. So this project is actually a crowdsource art project. And crowdsource art is a type of art where I create one sort of mechanism or one art piece, and then I have a lot of people create that or complete it in their own unique ways. So I have a bunch of one thing, and I have a million different versions of it because everybody's unique, and it gives people a chance to self-express. It sort of gives people a kind of theme or a jumping off point or a project that they can somewhere to start, but that they can complete in any way that they like. And this project is really interesting. It was designed to scale into a very large project, so that's why there's 26 books. So this
I thought it was for one for each letter.
It will be. It's an unlimited amount of participants, right? So these are available free to download from my website at artfulalphabet.com. And
so you don't need to put jenniferkincaid.com. It's just Artful.
This particular project, I have a lot of websites, so you can probably find a link through jenniferkincaid.com. But this one's artfulalphabet.com, and we're also on Facebook. You can download the book and print it yourself and complete it. And the great thing about this is that, as with all my projects, I like to collect all the results and then exhibit them in some sort of an art exhibit. My background is in art and in publishing and also an art gallery. I owned an art gallery up in Humboldt for about 5 years, an art gallery and event space. So we did a lot of really fun sort of community projects, right, where we would just bring a bunch of people in, do some really fun project, and then then had a lot of our programming revolve around that. But this project, so people will complete this book, and then when they're done with it, they will mail it back into the project to be exhibited in a live art exhibition. People always ask me, where's the exhibition going to be? Well, I hope it's in more than one place, for one thing, and it also depends on how many books we get back. There's going to be about a book about every 3 months being published, and it's a project that's going to last the next couple of years.
It's amazing, Jennifer Kincaid. That's with a K, Kincaid. Jennifer, this is the ultimate collaborative project because it's unlimited. You can collaborate with as many people that want to participate. If that's 1 million people, it's 1 million people.
That's right. And I really hope that people will get together. I'm looking forward to all the ways that people get together and work on this project. I'm hoping that I see people download it and work together at the coffee shop. Let's get together and go, color in our books for Scribbledoodle. And the interesting thing about this book also is that inside the pages, there's QR codes, and there's also in the PDF QR codes and then phrases. And those two technology pieces, the phrases are live links in the PDF, and the QR codes you can scan with your phone. Those lead to interesting art sites on the web.
The QR codes are something I mentioned actually last week on Artist on Art. They're those little squiggly lines that you see everywhere that have usually, was it 3 or 4 little
They look like a
squares
confused barcode.
Yeah, exactly. and you can get these readers on your smartphones that just basically look at it, and then it sends you to
the website.
Mm-hmm.
It reads it. They contain information. And so all of the ones in this book contain web addresses for some very interesting projects, interesting people, all on the topic of abstract art and crowdsource art.
Now, Jennifer, how did you get involved with crowdsource art, which is also tremendously interactive, obviously?
Oh, it's so fun. I can't even tell you how fun it is. I live for it. Well, the first crowdsource art project I actually did was before I even knew what crowdsource art was. That's only recently becoming a term in crowdsourcing. But in about 2006, I did a art residency, a school of New York, a School of Visual Arts in New York, and I created my first audience interactive piece there, which was based on a dice game. It's a piece called Interactorial, which is tiles that colored tiles that are paintings that go on the wall, and they've got dice that correspond to them, and participants roll the dice determines the configuration of the panels, and then the participant titles and interprets the resulting design that the panels have made. And so that piece, Interactorial, has almost 3 million possible configurations out of these 6 tiles. Yeah, that's amazing. And so the whole work will go on that long and then ultimately be retired. But what's great is that it keeps generating content, right? So we've done 60 performances of that, and actually, if I performed the work every 15 minutes until it was finished, it would take 85 years
for you to get the 3 million combinations.
Yeah.
To get every single combination.
To do it enough times to get every single combination, which will be really interesting to see what we actually do get, if we actually get all of those combinations by the time that we do all the rotations. But this is why I adapted it to a web game, and the web game is
that helps it live on.
It does. Well, it helps it opens up to mass audiences, and that's kind of how the progression came to opening up to large numbers of people. Right? You can only do so many live performances, but when you open up something into web distribution, then all of a sudden you can reach mass audiences, and so that's kind of that leap came pretty, all at once. Yeah. So now that we're about to make a mobile app out of that web game. It's Trazzle, Trazzel. It's at trazzle.com. Yeah.
Wow, Jennifer Kincaid is busting out, doing a lot of work. She works with crowdsourcing, as she was just saying, and your work is the moving through life with the urge to create and connect, and you are really connecting with the crowdsourcing. It's really interesting to think about how crowdsourcing could affect art projects, and you're really playing in this pretty new field.
It's very new. It's a new direction for art, but I think it's inevitable. You know, the whole art landscape is changing. I didn't go to art school. I went to business school when I was already an artist, but I never did go to art school. And the sort of art school kind of intellectual academic approach, theoretical approach, right? The whole critique approach doesn't connect for me. It just feels a little bit I don't know, painful,
I relate to that, yeah.
And disconnected, and it just doesn't have that that sort of visceral bliss really that in the way that art affects me
that you get.
Yeah, and I feel like that there's art audiences, the art industry, art institutions need to connect to wider audiences. The whole infrastructure is changing with funding and the industry and sort of the elitism of the pricing, art pricing. It's just a model that is in transition with especially with the accessibility of mass distribution by individual artists.
And you are a producer.
I am. I produce a variety of media. Yeah.
What do you produce?
Well, so I have
other than your own work, of course.
Well, I produce my art projects, but I also produce a podcast. I do a podcast called "The End of the World as We Know It" with Kiki Jin, and Kiki Jin is an on-air persona who does a show about the sort of a lowbrow take on the highbrow world of art and culture.
The world as we know it.
The End of the World as We Know It with Kiki Jin.
Kiki Jin.
Yeah, you can find that at kikijin.com. There's a couple
How do you spell Kiki Jin?
KIKIJIN.com.
Great.
There's just a couple of episodes on there right now. It's a work in progress. I've got more shows in the hopper that I'm just, are queued up to produce. I'm also working on animated. I don't know if it'll be like a cartoon or a web series or something, but network cartoon. But it's about a tap dancing tarantula, and yeah, very interesting. And
if anyone can tap dance, a tarantula.
Yeah, well, he's got a lot of character. He's got a lot of spunk to him, and sort of based on non-human preschoolers and reality television. So it's a sort of deeper look and sort of a sarcastic look, a little bit of media, and tongue-in-cheek and lots of fun.
Do you have a name for that, Jennifer Kincaid?
I do. It's called Uncle Tip Top Crosses the Pond.
Uncle Tip Top crosses the pond. You heard it here first, folks.
It's true.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah, I've got the team assembled for that, and we're starting to work on it now. Yeah.
That's in San Francisco, your team?
Yeah.
So Jennifer Kincaid, that's Kincaid. You can see a lot of the links to what she's talking about right now at jenniferkincaid.com. And she came down, I think, special from San Francisco.
Just to see you. Wouldn't have missed it.
Oh, thank you so much. To also talk about a recent exhibition, installation, what would you call it?
At the Santa Cruz MH? It was our book launch. It was...
the book launch.
Yes, the coloring book launch, the project launch for Artful Alphabet of Scribble Doodles took place as part of Santa Cruz Museum of Art and History's Friday night...
First
Friday programming. And I can't say enough about Stacy and Nina and Diana and the crew down there. They are just amazing. They're doing amazing work, and they brought together this last Friday was book arts. And there were a lot of incredible collaborators that came down for that, and that was the first time that my team had brought this project out to the public. And we had a table, and we had people coloring in their books, and we had. Aside from the books, then we also had some blank scribble doodles that people could color in. And the thing that was so amazing about the activity there was just the sheer diversity of the people who were interested in participating and just really having a great time participating in this project. There was young, old, kids, teenagers, young adults, in between. seniors, parents, kids, grandparents, all sitting down together, coloring in these books. And it was just amazing. And of every ethnicity, of every possible persuasion you can imagine, and every age range. So it's not just, something that kids do. We learn how to color as such young children, and we never forget how to do that.
We just get better at it. And again, the name of Jennifer Kincaid's work is called, that we're talking about right now, is Artful Alphabet. And you can go to artfulalphabet.com, and there you will be able to download the first book in the series of 26 called A is for Abstract. The name of the book is called An Artful Alphabet Scribble Doodles. And that's Scribbles, Scribel, Doodle, Dudel. And inside, each page has, again, as Jennifer mentioned earlier, a phrase, and then also the QR code. And so one of them is abstract exists along a continuum. Mm-hmm. Where did that come from?
That came from the Wikipedia site for the definition of abstract art, and it just talks about the movement. It talks about the how it arose and where it came from, the history of it, and the advent of it, and sort of what has jumped off from there. What has jumped off from abstract art, why it was important, what it is, why it was important.
And so the book is free to download.
The book is free to download. All these materials are free. People can receive this hard copy book that I have at our art activities, and that's one of the things that I wanted to say is that we had the activity at Santa Cruz Museum of Art and History last Friday. We have another launch coming up, the East Bay launch at Third Friday in Oakland, downtown Oakland, coming up on February 1st. Sorry, so it's First Friday. Third Friday at Santa Cruz MAH.
It was the third Friday at Santa Cruz Mod.
And First Friday in Oakland. And so at these activities, you can get the free, you can get this hard copy book, which I printed, which is a beautiful book, if I do say so myself.
Yes, it is beautiful, Jennifer.
And so, and then the other thing that I wanted to point people to was the website at artfulalphabet.com. In addition to being able to download the book, there's also, you can download some blank, just scribble doodles, some large size scribble doodles if you just want to keep coloring these designs. So you'll find lots of free content online at artfulalphabet.com.
And then the Artful Alphabet, when you download it, the PDF will have the links to all of these phrases.
Yep, you can click you open up the PDF and they're live links. You can click the link in the PDF and it will take you straight to the website that's also embedded in the QR code.
And these are really great little sayings, such as creativity is not the domain of only a chosen few.
You know where that links to? That links to the TED's Talks site on creativity.
Oh.
So you can hear thought leaders talk about how creativity is for everyone and how everyone is creative.
And so every page, and I'm assuming it's 26 pages? I don't know. How is it?
I think there's about 8 or so. There's 8 or so scribble doodles. There's a couple pages to talk about the project and how to connect and about me. And then there's some intro pages. And there's about 8 different, 8 or 10 different scribble doodles to color. And then the web content that's on those pages also that people can interact with.
Right. And so is there an A in here? Or you can make the A if you wanted to.
The term A is for abstract is just an excuse to give me the opportunity to make 26 books. The second one I've already got lined up, which is going to be called B is for Baroque.
B is for Baroque.
And I can tell you the one thing that we're going to have is the Mandelbrot design with the fractals, because isn't that Baroque?
Yes.
Isn't it? I know. So I
never thought of it though, but I'm excited to imagine it right now.
So that's my very first. I've got that. That's how much is planned of the second book, and I'm going to be producing the second and third books in the next few weeks. have those ready in the queue. And then I also wanted to tell everybody that if anybody has a group or a setting or a venue and they think that it would be fun to do one of these events, let me know. I am so down. I'll be there. I'll be there with coloring books. I'll be there with promotion, and I just need some traffic and a place to set up a table. I bring everything else.
And your work focuses on facilitating audiences to explore, discover, and be seen through creativity and community. And that's exactly what you're doing here by bringing, like you said, this very diverse, divergent pool of people to some of the younger kids are already coloring, but I'm sure some of the older people haven't colored in decades, possibly.
And they like riding a bicycle, where some of the older people might not be able to ride a bicycle like they could when they were little. They're probably going to be able to color like they could when they were little. I also wanted to mention that in terms of being seen, and connecting and being seen, one of the things that's integral to all the artworks that I make is a way to find your own unique contribution. So the participants of this project sign up and receive a numbered book. And at least the ones who go to the art activities, I'll figure out some way to number the downloads to receive those. But when we do the exhibition, there's going to be some way where people will be able to locate their own book, their own contribution within the art show and go find the thing that they did. So I want people to be able to be part of a larger movement, a larger creative act, and yet each person is so important that I want them to be able to find their own selves, to go back and find themselves in that particular point where they are in the larger body of work. That's so important to me.
That's wonderful. Have you thought, Jennifer, of creating a virtual Artful Alphabet completed book?
Yes. As a matter of fact, my team is working on that. One of my project managers is working on that. We're going to probably do an iPad app or a web app, iPad app, where it scrolls through. It's a virtual book that scrolls through all the designs that have been submitted.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Jennifer Kincaid, thank you so much for coming. Jennifer is a San Francisco-based multimedia artist and independent producer working in crowdsource art and audience interactive participation art. If you missed any part of this show, you can go to artistonart.com and I'll have the podcast and video of Jennifer, and you'll be able to also get the links to all of her work at jenniferkincaid.com.